Hello, my wonderful yogis. My name is Eden Thomas, and today we're going to be doing the first section of our heart opening sequence with the peak pose of the wheel. So we're going to be doing a few warm-up preparatory poses, opening up specific parts of the body that we will need to engage in wheel pose. And the focus of today's practice is to connect with the heart chakra and to sync breath with poses. So let's go ahead and collectively as a class, let's take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Now let's place one hand on our heart and one hand on our stomach. Inhale. Begin to think of someone or something that you really, really love. And just make your heart tingle. And just think about why you love this thing and how grateful you are to have had this loving experience in your life. Beautiful. Now take that love and that warmth you just felt in your heart and let's use it to transcend through this yoga class. And maybe we'll be able to spread love throughout the rest of the world. So let's move on over to a tabletop position and drop down into child's pose. Now we'll just use this position in a few breaths just to prepare our minds for the class today. Thinking of that one thing that you thought you loved. Let's relax here. Extending the arms forward, releasing the tailbone, and keep the big toes touching. On our next inhale, let's begin to press up into a neutral tabletop position. Shoulders in line with wrists, knees in line with hips, just creating a nice box shape. Now let's do a couple rounds of cat-cow, warming up the spine for wheel pose. So let's inhale, draw the spine down, bring the chin up. Exhale, release, cow, press through the earth on your knees and hands. Inhale, neutral spine. Let's get a couple circles, some side shifts. Just get that whole spine for me. Now, for this last round, we'll shift the wrists backwards, just warming up the wrists. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And come back to a neutral spine. Now, let's press up into downward facing dog for our first sun salutation. Lifting the hips, pressing through the palms, using all 10 fingers to engage in this position. For this first round, let's have a generous breath. Exhale, step or hop to the forward part of the mat. Uttanasana, release to the ground. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, extending the crown forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, bring it all the way up, sweep the arms overhead. And we'll move through 2 more rounds of Sun Salutation A. Exhale, release, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, extending the spine. And let's hands. Walk our hands forward and step or jump back into Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale, release down, preparing for upward facing dog. Pressing through the top of the feet, engaging the leg muscles, and releasing the shoulders away from the knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press the feet, lift the hips, engage the core. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Exhale, step or hop to the beginning of the mat. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up, Tadasana. And with our hands overhead, let's work on some side flexion for one of our standing neutral poses. Inhale, exhale, shift to the left, keeping the hips neutral. And pull through this left hand. Inhale, come back to neutral. Exhale, release to the right, pulling the right hand up and away. Making sure to engage the core and dropping the tailbone down. Exhale, release. Bring the hands down. And now we're going to do a high crescent lunge on each side, opening up the hip flexors, preparing for wheel pose. So, inhale, exhale, step the left leg back, keeping a neutral internal and external rotation in the right leg. Now go down as low as you feel for this first round. Bring the arms up, inhale. Exhale, a little bit lower. Inhale, come up. Exhale, a little bit lower. One more breath. Make sure to really open up this left hip flexor, keeping the knees in line with the toes, and keeping an even weight distribution between both legs. Exhale, come back. And we'll repeat this sequence on the other side. So, inhale, step the right leg back. Neutral knee position. Even weight distribution. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, drop a little lower. Release the tailbone down. Inhale, up. Exhale, release a little bit lower. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. One more breath. Okay, come back to neutral. And we'll meet at the bottom of our mat, aka the ground. So, now that we've gone through our standing poses, we're going to now work on opening up the shoulders. So, the way we're going to do this is with puppy pose. Now, a great way to start doing this position is with blocks. I don't have blocks, but please feel free to modify as needed. So, we'll begin in a tabletop position and drop down to your elbows, keeping them shoulder width apart, and also keeping your knees hip width apart. Make sure your hips are in line with your knees, and drop your head down to the ground. Now, once you're here, extend the arms all the way forward, extending through the spine. Now just release your head all the way, feeling that stretch down your shoulder blades. We'll stay here for a total of 4 breaths.